Boy meets girl, they both fall in love, the honeymoon phase starts. Then comes a point, whether it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and the honeymoon phase ends. I did a paper on this in university. I relate working out your relationship with your health, your body, your confidence, the same as a relationship to a long-term spouse. Are we putting too much pressure on that person and putting the source of all our happiness on that person? Because that is something that is so unrealistic. And I say, well, if you don't have the drive and motivation and the excitement's gone in your relationship, in your marriage.
So what is the secret to a happy long-term relationship or marriage? In fact, what is the secret to creating sustainability with your body, your fitness, and your personal self-confidence? In this video, I'm having a live coaching session with a client of mine who I'm helping getting over a breakup, getting to a better place mentally and emotionally, and in fact, getting his body right, getting in shape, rejuvenating that personal sense of well-being and confidence. Pay attention and watch the video, Coach Ab.
Okay, so normal relationship goes through its normal trajectory. So you know, boy meets girl, they both fall in love, the honeymoon phase starts, butterflies in the stomach, everything is hunky-dory, trips, dinners, vacation, all that stuff. Then comes a point, whether it's 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I did a paper on this in university, and the honeymoon phase ends. Then the two people realize what each other's quirks are and whether they can bear their quirks. And the question is, do you have enough respect for each other to commit and stay committed in a relationship? Because you understand, even excluding the quirks or including the quirks, you still want to be with that person. So that's number one.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
And I think a much deeper question to ask ourselves is, are we putting too much pressure on that person and putting the source of all our happiness on that person? Because that is something that is so unrealistic. That is something that's not talked about, right? Like, look at all the bullshit that we've been given in Hollywood movies. Like, that person completes me.
You complete me.
That person makes me happy all the time. How can one person, one human being who has mood swings, who will have a shitty day at work, who will go through temperaments up and down, how can we put that much pressure on one person to completely, consistently, all the time make us happy? So that's one question. Right. Number two, let's say we put that person under pressure. Like, you are in charge of making sure I'm happy all the time. That's your job. And that person fails because that person is a human being. That person is probably has anger problems from the past. It just never comes out of in the honeymoon phase. That person probably has something like mood swings. That person misses a day of working out and their biochemistry is not releasing and they're in a shitty mood. That person has a bad day at work. That person has baggage from the past they haven't dealt with. That person's maybe not evolved enough to understand, to communicate what their needs are, right? So all these skill sets play a role in a healthy relationship. So why put that person under so much pressure? Why not accept the fact that it's always going to be like this, up and down? And why not accept the fact that happiness is an inside job? So when you take happiness as an inside job, you are now letting that person off the hook. That person no longer feels pressure. And now you're like, I'm showing up strong, fit, diesel. I'm controlling my own mood swings. I need some time off. Let me go in my room, 20-minute man cave, meditate, do some push-ups, work out. I'm releasing the biochemistry. I come back out. The other thing is, I relate working out, your relationship with your health, your body, your confidence, the same as a relationship to a long-term spouse. So honeymoon phase, just like the motivation phase, runs out when you start a workout program and you've been doing it for 3-4 months and you're like, it's no longer exciting. I have clients tell me all the time, I've been working out for 3-4 months. Now that the drive is gone, I no longer have that drive. And I say, well, if you don't have the drive and motivation and the excitement's gone in your relationship, in your marriage, would you leave your husband? I was just having a conversation with a woman and she said, no, because I want to be there. And I said, well, do you still want to feel good in your body, lose weight, tone up, wear sexy jeans, and feel good about yourself and fix your back and your knee problems? Like, is that still a goal? And she's like, well, obviously obviously, of course, I want to do that. I don't want to feel like crap. Who wants to feel like shit in their body? The body is the house that houses the soul, right? And she's like, I'm like, well, okay, so what's your answer then? What's your strategy then? Are you going to quit because first 3-4 weeks you were so excited and you were motivated? Now the motivation for working out is gone. She's like, well, I'm just going to not rely on my feelings. I know my big macro is that I want to take care of my body, my health. And the down part, or the opposite, the alternative, is feeling like crap. So I pick feeling good even if I'm not in a honeymoon phase. And that equates to the answer that she gave me in a relationship where I feel good when I'm with that person and I want to be there anyway, even if I'm not feeling the butterflies at times, and even if the honeymoon phase is over and we've got 2 kids and a mortgage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense, because like when I was grimacing and like annoyed about working out, like even the one that I did this week, I don't know if it was you in my head or somebody in my head, like you want to get the results of like whatever you're doing, right? It's not like gonna be fun. Like it's hard to do some of these things. You don't just get the results by just getting the results. Like you need to take action, right? And like we may not like the action, but if we want to get to the result that we want, you got to put in the work. And I think that's evident in like whether it's your job, like how do you get the opportunities? Nobody likes to cold call, nobody likes to do this, but if you do it, positive things could happen. If you get home at night and you don't do anything, you're not going to get the results of a good body. So you just got to push through. If you want uncommon things to happen in a good way, you need to take uncommon action. So, and that's what I kept trying to remind myself. And then I don't know if I'm just a weird guy. I like to put myself around people that are better than myself and like and the topics that I'm trying to attack. And by the grace of God, the guy that sits next to me at work is like a total like health nut. Like, I mean, he ran track and field at Boston College and he runs marathons and he eats well and he doesn't really drink. He has like no vice. And it's like, and he's great at his job. So when he walks, I like to have my legs hang out of his ass because I'm just trying to pick up that osmosis. So like working with you, sitting next to him, rubbing elbows, like again, I just try to keep it stupid simple. And I kind of use all of that as a reminder of like, you just got to push through. You got to keep going. You got to keep going, because to your point, like the motivation could run out, but I like to use things like to remotivate myself and remind myself that like, this is why we're doing it and you got to just do it.
So if you're someone that's coming out of a relationship, going through a breakup, your body's not in shape, you want to rejuvenate and increase that level of self-confidence within yourself, go to my website, ownyourfitness.net, click a strategy button, how to schedule it. Me or my teammate will get in touch with you, schedule a live call, and we'll figure out a plan on how to get your body right and your confidence right. Until next time, Coach Adam, stay strong, own your fitness.